What's going on, guys? It's a beautiful day today. We're a few weeks away from streetcar takeover at Texas Motorplex in Ennis, Texas, Dallas, Texas in general. I haven't done a full car review on the car, so I figured I'd give you guys a review today because it's doing pretty good. I feel like we've worked out most of the kinks, and figured it'd be kind of cool to do just an overall review of the car, give you guys an idea of what this car is made of and what it can do, some of the work that's gone into it. So I'm about to show you guys what we've been doing for the last few years with this car. So it's a 1987 BMW E30. It's a 325 IS. And when we first got this car, it was bone stock. Bought it from the original owner. It had nothing done to it. Originally it had an M20 in it. We boosted that M20 to about 500 horsepower, but it wasn't enough. So, of course, we did a few little modifications here and there. And then started on a pretty big build that took us some time. It took us about 2 years to do the entire build. Show you what we got going on. So as you can tell, it is a VVTi 2JZ GTE. We've got ID 1700s. Deep motor intake manifold. It's got a precision 6870. That is a next gen 6870 with a 1.0 housing and an H cover. PHR S23 exhaust manifold. That is a true equal length divided manifold. Got some twin precision 46 millimeters on there. A 4-inch downpipe to a full 4-inch oval back exhaust, and then it comes back to a 4-inch round exhaust. Not seen, very well hidden, is the GTR R35 coil packs. And of course everything else is pretty standard. It's got GSE stage 1 cams, beehive springs, and shimless buckets. Got a little air scoop there for the turbo, a little inlet, a little mesh screen to cover it up. All the other stuff doesn't really matter, you know, 3-inch intercooler piping and yada yada yada. It's a pusher fan setup. It gets a little hot in the staging lanes. Chase bays. We did the power steering for chase bays with the PHR adapter for the power steering pump. Just a general overflow for the coolant catch. A Griffin radiator for LS. We are on a boosterless setup with the chase bays boosterless. We had to do some custom lines to make it fit. And we had to move the master cylinder over about an inch in order for it to clear this manifold without having to beat the manifold in. Radium fuel setup, 8 AN feeds, 6 AN return. We do have 3 Hellcat pumps. We have a fuel cell. The stock pump wouldn't, the stock fuel tank wouldn't work with our drive shaft. I'm about to tell you why. But that's 3 Hellcat pumps in there. See all 3 feeding into a single -8. Yes, we got sub and amp and all that shit. I gotta put back the carpet and make this thing look pretty, but it's an RCI fuel cell. It did leak one time. They fixed it on the fly, got us back going. That's not really the cool part about the car. The cool part about the car is this. What in the world? That is a Nardi with paddle shifters. And that is a DCT shifter. Why do we have a DCT shifter? Well, because it's got a DCT in it. It has a DCT from an F80 M3. We control the ECU by Megasquirt. It's MS3 Pro Evo, and it links with the DCT HTG GCU. So HTG is the company. It has a gearbox control unit, and it is all linked up via CAN bus. And we are on open loop take up, which is like letting the clutch out. That's the take up. We're on closed loop shifting. It works well. It does have some bugs that we've got to work out. We are trying our best to iron everything out. But yes, an E30 with paddle shifters, imagine that. The cool thing about it though is that we still have a clutch pedal. So we can clutch dump, we can do whatever we want with the clutch, or we don't have to use it at all. We can just hit the gas and shift it. We'll go over some of this stuff here in a minute when we go on our test drive. I'll do a point of view test drive. This is my little parking brake here for the parking prawl. Of course, I don't have any gauges or anything. I don't have the pod gauges, the factory gauges work. This is just where I put my draggy. That's where I put my phone when I do my draggy pulls. This is my radio. This is my transmission control for park to neutral to drive, reverse, all that stuff. Boost control and rolling anti-lag. Everything else is pretty factory. I mean, it's, you know, a factory car. And that's kind of how we wanted to keep it unsuspecting. You know, you look in here and you're like, oh, it looks like a manual transmission. It still has a clutch pedal. You know, you may oversee the paddle shifters. You won't know. No radio bezel, no air conditioning. Obviously, we don't have air conditioning. We had to cut the transmission tunnel out of this thing, and it required us to remove the HVAC box completely. So unfortunately, if I wanted this combo, it was no way to maintain it with the air conditioning. But that was for ground clearance. We could have done it, but the transmission would be on the floor. But we've got some NRG Prisma seats. I really like these seats. They match the interior. We put a red carpet in there. We recovered the back seat. It's really dusty. Have not washed it in a while. We got the VMS skinnies on the front, Mickey's, and the VMS wheels on the back. These are the Deltas. That's a 275 50 15 ET Street R. Mickey Thompson. That's a bias ply on the front. Love the way it looks. It's very aggressive looking. Does pretty well. Got some Viking shocks on the rear. The rear end's been reinforced. Got extra diff ear. We're on Born to Drift adapters for E34 axles. Other than that, it's pretty much a stock rear end. It's got an LSD in it. I mean, it's a medium case, but we will be upgrading to a large case later. It is on a drift suspension still, so you can see there's a lot of camber in the front because we have SLR arms. Even though we pulled all the camber out, it still is like 5 degrees of camber. So we've got some abnormal wear on the inside of the tires. We're gonna have to flip them. But I love how the engine bay came out nice and clean. Got all the wiring tucked. Still have all the little covers over the headlights. It came out great. Justin Baker is my best friend, and he helped me with all this. Honestly, without him, none of this would have been possible. I would never have even attempted this. The JZ swap, sure. The DCT swap, absolutely not. He's the brains behind all this, so all credit goes to Justin for being the engineer behind this project. I mean, a lot of 3D CAD modeling stuff went into this, for 3D modeling the transmission tunnel so that we could cut it out and re-weld a tunnel back in there. 3D modeling our engine mounts and transmission mounts. I mean, the guy's just a genius. So anyways, what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna fire it up and we'll go for a cruise. We'll do like a point of view cruise. I don't know, just figured show you guys what it's like to drive something like this. It's very streetable. It still has a lot of kinks. Bear with me. We're still in beta for everything. We still have a problem that we're chasing down with losing adaptions. This is a known issue. I'm not gonna hide it. HTG works wonderful when it works. We have one problem, one issue, and it's losing adaptions every so often. The only problem is it loses adaptions right before I'm about to race. Staging lanes, showing up to a race. It's very annoying. Other than that, it's great. We had one problem with wiring. Our buddies over at Seems Legit fixed the wiring, sent it back to us, got us on the road. Those guys are great. Shout out to Mike Dodge. Wonderful to work with, A1 customer service. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to fix my adaption problem. It's just not his, that's not his forte. That's something we've got to deal with HTG, and hopefully those guys reach out and they help us out. So anyways, we are going to go for a cruise here in just a second. Let me get this thing rolling. Show you what it's all about. All right, guys. Well, I guess what I can do is, don't know what to do with my hands. Okay. Right. So here we are. We're in the car. It's idling. Gonna go for a drive. Kind of go over some features. Like I said, it's a DCT swap, so you don't have to use the clutch or anything if you don't want to. You can just use this. But we'll go to neutral. It's my parking brake, like I said. I stick it in there so that if the car shuts off, the parking crawl does not try to engage. So that's to keep that from happening. This is literally my parking brake now. So we'll just go into reverse, let off the brake, and it takes up on its own. As soon as you hit the brake pedal, it's got a brake pedal input sensor. It releases the clutches. We're gonna go to neutral. We're gonna go to manual mode. It's in first gear now. It takes up on its own. I can give it gas and it takes up more. There we are. The car's very loud, so hopefully you can hear me. Gary stopped by right before I was gonna leave. This is a 700 horsepower ZL1. So to shift a second, just third. Can use paddle shifters. Fourth. Fifth. Like a normal car. It's pretty incredible. Come to a stop. Fourth. You gotta downshift it on your own if you're in manual mode. Third. Second. Let off the brake. Starts taking up. Second gear, just like a normal clutch release. Can take off in second gear if I want. Doesn't matter. It's just like anything else. Any other DCTs have the same option. Kind of mimics the clutch a little bit, or modulates the clutch, sorry. Bad bump right here. Just like any other car. Hit the paddles. Car drives great, considering what it is. I mean, it's literally a drift car. Suspension with drag radials and skinnies. So you know, it rides as good as it can. But honestly, it's comfortable. We've made some pretty long trips with this thing, and it's done great. So now I'm downshifting on my own using the paddles. That's fourth. That's third. And that's second. So now we're in second gear. Come to a stop. Now we're in first. Now one thing I wanted to show is the automatic mode. So D is just drive. So now I can just put it in drive and it does it on its own. It's not 100% refined. It still has, it's still very analog feeling. So I've not perfected automatic mode yet, but it's pretty good. I'll have to this traffic go. There's third. Fourth. Fifth. Give it a little bit more beans. Sixth. Seventh. Just kind of effortlessly accelerates. One thing I've been working on has been my downshifts coming to a stop in drive mode. They were a little late, and it caused the car to be in a high gear at really low speeds. So now I've got it to where it downshifts. It kind of keeps us in a good gear. So there we're in 6th gear right there. About to shift into 5th. We're gonna go right. Here's 4th coming. There's 4th. So now I'm back on the gas. And we're gonna go and just kind of hang out in 4th gear. No problem accelerating. I mean, this is, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That was a hog on the side of the road. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This is the best this car's driven ever. I'm really glad it's doing this well on video. It's really smooth right now. I drove it yesterday a little bit. Maybe it had time to learn, but on closed loop shifting, it's exactly what it sounds like closed loop feedback. It takes different driving scenarios, different pedal inputs, different torque readings. It uses a fuel calculation model to calculate how much pressure to give the clutches between shifts and when to release the drive clutch versus the next gear clutch. There it goes, it's downshifting on its own. So it's very intelligent, but it does require input from the user to be able to set these things up right. And I will say 90% of the people that would attempt this type of swap is probably not going to be able to do it. This stuff is tough. So, you know, if you're thinking about doing this swap, it's great, don't get me wrong, but unless you have a fucking genius level IQ friend, aka Justin Baker, to help you with this stuff, man, unless you're the engineer, you're gonna have a hard time. This is not a basic swap. I know, like, we're making it look easy. You're not seeing all the struggle. You should go back and look at all the old videos and see some of the struggles that we've been through. And there's a lot of struggles that we haven't showcased. So don't get it twisted. This is a tough swap. Let's have some fun. Let's put it in manual mode. We're on 10 pounds of boost. We're in 2nd gear. Let's just give it a quick rip at like 35 miles an hour. Got a little sideways on me there, going into 3rd gear. Shifted a little too late, bounced it off the rev limiter a little bit, but it makes up for that by shifting so fast. So yeah, that was, you know, I like using the shifter here, it just feels better. I use paddle shifters for downshifting mainly, and then I use this for upshifts. It just feels, I don't know, left, right, down, up, you know? Feels a little more natural. Back in 2nd, do another 2nd gear rip. So that's 10 pounds. So this is my boost knob. 10 pounds is roughly 500 wheel horsepower. Honestly, that's like plenty for this car, but it feels really slow to me. Probably doesn't look very fast in the video. Thing about it, we'll just put it in drive mode for now so I can do this. Let's see if my Bluetooth is, yeah. Well,
really play my music right now, but I'll show y'all that when I get back. One other cool thing, I've been talking about my rolling anti-lag setup. I've changed my rolling anti-lag around to be a straight up ignition retard, no cut. I used to have a cut on there, and it was cool. It made all kinds of crazy noises, but I don't like the pops and bangs on anti-lag. I want just like that, almost like that GTR anti-lag sound, like that new age anti-lag sound. So I did that. We had to modify the INI file for Megasquirt 3. This is a back-end text file that we had to go modify to increase the limits. Before it was 30 degrees. Now we have a maximum of a 50-degree retard, so it pulls roughly 30 degrees of timing, but leaves the fuel. So I'm going to show y'all what it looks like in second gear and what it sounds like on rolling anti-lag. At about 35 miles an hour. A little difficult to hear, but I can hear it. It sounds crazy. In fact, that's the wastegate opening up because it's building boost that fast. I mean, it builds boost. It builds 13 pounds within 1 second. So at Streetcar Takeover, I'm using that in third at about 40 miles an hour. Pretty nuts. Now I haven't shown y'all high boost yet. Maybe in the older videos. But Streetcar Takeover will be 40 miles an hour in third, so I was worried that it was gonna be too laggy and not make enough power. I was gonna have to use second gear because I figured it was probably gonna like just not build enough boost or fog. And then finally, but this turbo is so efficient. This 6870 next gen spools the same, actually it spools better than my 6466 did, and it makes a ton more power. So it's fine. So I'm not worried about it. We're gonna let this thing eat at Streetcar Takeover. We're gonna try to shoot for some personal bests. Hopefully we can get into the low 4s, maybe high 3s. We'll see how it ends up. There goes Gary. And yeah, so then I put it in park. Got my little parking brake there. Let off the brake. Oh, one thing I didn't show. Let me show them one more thing. I'll be right back. I'm just gonna go around the parking lot. Meant to show y'all this. Let's go to reverse. So, remember I was talking about the clutch deal. So you can actually modulate this thing. Now, me and Justin have some work to do on modulating this because if the swing of the clutch is this long, we've only got it operating within a very small window. We need to have the full range. So it's very abrupt because we only have a little bitty window, but you'll get the idea. So we're in first gear and you can see my foot, can very slowly let the clutch out. And it's just like a normal car. It's pretty cool. If I want to do like launch control or something, I could bring it up to like, you know, 2,500, 3,000, be on launch control. Let off the clutch. And that's probably how I'm going to do it at the drag races. Another thing you can do is you can put the clutch in for gear changes. I mean, that was first to second. Like if I wanted to drive it like a regular car, clutch third. Like downshift first or second. Downshift first, come down. You see how it barked the tires? It's because we have that little tiny engagement window. So we've got to adjust that. But yeah, that's kind of the car in a nutshell. Put it back in park. Doop. Done. Let y'all hear some revs. Hey Gary, you want to help me out real quick? You want to help me out? I need you to hold the camera. It's very hot. Whew. Would you hold this while I rev it and just stand back there?
Is it already going?
It's already filming. That's my rolling antilag. Did you hear it behind me?
Yeah. I didn't know what that was.
Does it sound good?
Yeah.
I was curious. I haven't heard it yet, so I wanted to film it and see what it looks like for me. But is it shooting any flames when it does that?
Yeah.
Does it really?
I think so.
Ooh.
I didn't catch you till you. The 2 times you got on it, I wasn't filming, but that last time when you was turned on this road.
Oh, you filmed it?
Yeah.
Oh, I definitely want to see that.
You didn't get on it that hard that time though.
That was just talking about right here on this road, on St. Vincent.
On the when you turned on, yeah, St. Vincent.
Oh yeah.
You turned the corner.
Yeah, that was a rolling anti-lag. Yeah, I definitely want to hear that.
It sounded really fucking good when you left across roaches.
Oh yeah, I bet.
I wasn't ready.
All right, well that's it. Thanks for watching. Next time you see this car, hopefully it'll be smacking some ass at SCT. See y'all then. Oh yeah, so one more thing I forgot to show you guys. It's my radio setup. So that is my all it is. Play, forward, back, volume. This is just a little Bluetooth controller and it connects to my phone. So I just go boop.
Oh yo, sin wow. Yeah man, check out this thing.
Bump in the trunk.
I just bought 2 boxes, call it body dinner. Product with some salt. I'm like, fuck it, let me. Rolling down your block, it ain't shit for the setter. Throw that biscuit on my ish, she need a chili.
My mind like George Lucas. I think like Stanley Kubrick.
How cool is that? And it's just controlled off my phone. I can sit there and seek, play, pause, whatever I want. And it doesn't have a big, obnoxious screen to worry about. So anyways, just thought I'd show y'all that. Pretty sweet stuff.